Hi there, and welcome to week 3 of our semester. I hope you're starting to get accustomed to our Moodle site and are moving along with things. I've been happy to see a lot of the work that you've been doing and look forward to really sort of taking off at a quicker pace now that we're into the semester and we're settled in. And today's video hopefully will explain a few things that are going to be happening this week, comment on a couple of things last week, and just overall prepare you for what you need to be doing. I'm also going to conclude today with my first joke, so stay tuned for that. The first thing I wanted to talk about just real quickly is the late policy for this class. I don't accept late work, and so if you miss a deadline for something, I encourage you, please don't post your response late. It will be deleted or taken down. There's going to be one exception, and that's why I wanted to sort of mention this now instead of making it sort of a bummer to start your week off with. If you have missed some things, there is going to be an opportunity, and there'll be more details provided to you next week in week 4. I have a one-time offer for people to make up things that they missed in weeks 1 through 3. Okay, I figure it does take some time to adjust to the semester, to get used to the Moodle platform, to figure out how an online course is going to work for you. So I want people to have the chance to make up things from early on. So if you did do an assignment, but you haven't posted it yet, it's late, maybe you did your analytical response number 1, hold on to it. You're going to have to add to a little bit. I do have a little bit higher expectations for these late assignments that I'm going to be accepting, but you still will be able to get credit for it. But please wait until next week once you know more of the details about how that's going to work. Okay, so you will have the opportunity, so keep up on things, keep going, but move forward with your work for this week right now so that you meet the deadlines that are today and Thursday and Sunday and don't fall behind on those things too. Okay, so that's going to be coming up. Last week went really well for the most part, I thought. I was happy to see the Writer's Toolbox reflections. I'm still catching up on a few of the commenting on those. I think I've commented on most people except for maybe those who posted like the last 3 hours before it was due. I'm just sort of responding and making just quick comments. But I have recorded credit or no credit in your grade book for those as well. And the analytical response 1, for the folks who did it, really nice job on those. I will be posting, I read the first, your initial posts and have made some notes for myself, and then I'm going to go back and look at follow-up responses that you did, and I'll be getting the grades in your grade book by later today or sometime tomorrow. So please stay tuned for that. And remember that your grades, you can access your grade book on the left-hand sidebar of our Moodle site. There is a link to the grades, and I can't click on that, unfortunately. If I do, it shows all the grades of the students in the class, and I don't want to put that on video, obviously, and the view looks different than yours. But please do check out your grade book and let me know if you have questions about it and how it's set up. But there are a few grades in there now from the initial things that we did, okay, the opening forum and stuff like that. So please check that out and let me know if you have any questions. The other things in week 2, people have been doing a good job continuing to add to the research collections. Please be, lots of great stuff in that first section on pop culture in general. Please make sure to, as the weeks are going forward here, add to those social media ones. This week we're focusing our reading on TV and videos. We're also going to be moving into next week pop music and pop art, and you can post about those topics now. You don't have to wait until those weeks to do it. So if you want to add to it, it's up to you to add to the research collections. You'll have to add, as per the directions, 3 to 5 total over the time. I'm not going to be going in now and making comments on every single one that you do. What we're going to do is have an evaluation period at the end. If you didn't post one the first week, and you'd like me to take a look at it and make comments on it, you can send me an email and let me know that. But I did go through and comment on everybody who posted in the first week and let you know how you did with that. So if you need some feedback or are concerned about something, please let me know. Also, to let you know, when I do make comments on the postings on the research collections, you don't need to respond to my comments. They're there for you to be able to like maybe revise what's in that section of the text box. Okay, so make a correction, change it, do that type of thing, and to help you just improve with future responses. So there's no need, if I ask questions a lot, there's no need for you to actually answer my questions, but it's something that you might consider adding to your summary or your analysis sections, okay, correcting your parenthetical citation, anything like that that will help you improve your future responses. Okay. The other things, let's move into week 3 and catch you up with what's going on today. Obviously, the preparation section is always the first place for you to start. It contains all of the assignment overviews you'll need to look at for this week, as well as the reading. And this week, as I said, there is some They Say, I Say reading from our text, entering the conversation, and They Say that starts talking about some strategies to use in integrating other people's words and ideas into your own writing. They're also going to be reading about television and video games. Okay, so that's something for you to be taking a look at. There's one that I want everybody to do, which is the first line, watching TV makes you smarter, thinking outside the idiot box, and then why video games matter. And then you're given the option of reading Family Guy and Freud, or The Good, the Bad, and the Daily Show. You can read them both, of course, but you don't have to read all of those. And I also indicated that there's some resources over below your research collections, just to draw your attention to them. There's a link here to MLA formatting and style that actually shows you how do you incorporate citations into your essay, all that type of thing that's going to be really helpful you as you start writing your papers going forward. And I've already pointed you to the Easy Bib Citation Maker for making your citations and your works cited page entries. So check those out. The activities for this week, we have a couple different things. The first thing that's due today is a Writer's Toolbox activity. And you remember last week we had a Writer's Toolbox reflection. And Writer's Toolbox reflections are always just you're sharing something with me about your writing, about what we're reading, about what's going on within that period of time. And I alternate those on a weekly basis with a Writer's Toolbox activity, where I'll be asking you to do a small piece of writing rather than a larger analysis or an essay. These are just focused writing type of things, and you'll be posting them to forums, and you'll be commenting with follow-up to each other. So just like you have the analytical response, you have an initial post on Thursday with follow-up on Sunday. For the Writer's Toolbox activities, like this week, you have an initial deadline of Tuesday, which is tonight, or tomorrow night, rather. I was thinking last week when I made the video on a Tuesday. And then a follow-up response due Thursday night. And the responses to these are always brief. As I said, what I'm asking you to do this week for the Writer's Toolbox activity, if you click on here, your initial response is going to be a paragraph or some paragraphs using the templates that are described within the They Say, I Say textbook. Your follow-up responses are just going to be writing one sentence to each person within your color group. Okay, and I'm going to put the links up there by team colors this week, and it'll only be one color, not two colors within a group. So it's more of a short, focused activity to give you an opportunity to try out some of the things at the textbook. It's sort of one of the things that we would have done in class had we been meeting face-to-face, and we're doing here now instead. Another important thing that you have this week is the Essay 1 topic proposal. One of the things I'm asking you to do is read this week is the essay's overview and then look at the topic proposal. I've set it up as a journal, so you're going to open a journal entry and you're going to write your proposal here. And you'll see that the underlined part is what the proposal needs to include. And people always have concerns about essays, and I understand why. I have sort of a combination of free choice with some focus here. And the free choice is that the topic really is up to you within, and this is the restriction, the parameters of pop culture. So primarily what we've been talking about and what we're going to be talking about through next week, we're going to be getting into pop art and pop music, and we don't have those, we haven't done that reading yet, but there's still topics, if they really interest you, that you could choose for your first essay. And obviously a topic like video games is a huge one. It's not a topic for an essay. Well, what is it about video games that you'd be interested in exploring? What audience would you have for this paper? What would your purpose be? So it requires you to put a topic proposal in. You're going to need to do a little bit of initial research to identify, well, what might your focus be, right? What is the, what is it that you're going to be trying to get across? What's your claim? You need to make a point or have a purpose, an argument, some type of, you can't just report information, okay? And I think that that's the important thing. And this type of idea and information is in this essay's overview, okay? If you read this, I've talked about how to choose a topic, what the general guidelines are, okay? These things are within this essay's overview, but it's not going to tell you what topic to choose, okay? That's entirely up to you. And for some people, that's a little bit overwhelming, and some people, that's a huge relief. We all sort of respond differently to how we feel about topic selection. In any case, I'm happy to talk to you more about it. Please start posting early to the topic proposal journal. You can also email me if you want to get an immediate response and you're just concerned about something, but you don't actually want to submit the full topic proposal. Go ahead and send me an email to help with some initial clarification or idea decision making, and I'm happy to respond to that. And I might be able to get back to you more quickly than I will when I have to come onto Moodle and look at the topic proposals that are posted. So if you just post something there saying, I have no idea what I want to do, well, if I don't get onto Moodle for a few hours and then I'm going through in the order that people posted them, it might take me longer to get to you about that. So please, if you have an immediate concern about your topic and about essays in general, send me an email or post to our collaborative class Q&A at the top of the page. We have another analytical response due this week. We sort of alternate. Next week, you're actually going to be doing something different. You'll be having a sort of a response group where you get some feedback from your classmates about your initial topic ideas for your first essay. But this week, we're going to do another analytical response about the readings on TV and video games. And folks did a really good job last week. The couple pointers that I would give would primarily be the people who did a really good job with it made an effort to tie things together and make connections, rather than saying, this is what this author said, and this is what I think, and here's what this author said, and this is what I think, and here's what this author said. There was an overall grabbing of themes or tying of ideas together between the sources. And a lot of those people also wrote like brief introductions that sort of set up that context or the ideas for that, and sort of concluded by pulling things together. And so if you think of the analytical response as a little bit more as sort of mini essays, it helps you practice some of those connecting and transition skills that you need to work on in essays too. Okay, so you might take a look at the other people in your group, which you already have, by responding to them, but see what factors to you made somebody really successful in expressing their ideas. And a lot of it is just sort of how they present the information. Okay, so take a look at that when you're doing it. This week, you're going to continue with Begin Your Research. There are 3 chapters this week that are about finding books, finding articles, and making citations. And the librarian and I are working out the details on the scoring of this. I think we've got a system going. So by later this week, I should be able to enter your scores. I did put your score in for your first, the pre-survey, and just whether you did it or not, for credit, no credit. And I'll be able to get the scores from her soon, and I'll just make a note of your score in your grade book, and it will just tell you what percentage you got correct, and that's going to allow you then, when you take the post-test, to see how you improved, which hopefully you will. And so that's what we're looking forward to that. The chapters, we figured out a way for her to relay the information about your completion of those chapters from last week and then this week on a weekly basis. So hopefully she'll be able to update her records later today or tomorrow, and I'll be able to get those scores in for you too later in the week. Sorry for the delay with this, but like I said, this is a whole new pilot thing that she's doing, and we're sort of testing it out for the first time, and she's started working out the mechanisms for how does the scoring happen and get reported. So we'll have it back and the information to you as soon as I can. Final thing for you to be doing this week, well, two final things. One is to keep working on the adding things to the research collections, okay, and trying to remind you about that all the time. You'll be able to add to the research collections through the end of next week in order to meet the requirement. And again, make sure you go ahead and look at that research collection and curation overview assignment if you're uncertain of it. That was described last week. Or it might have even been the first week of the semester. But it's up at the top of our, all the major assignments are up here in this top overview, so you can look there for the details about how to do that. The other thing that you're going to be doing is you're going to be signing up for a conference with me. To get feedback on your essays, I do that through conferencing, and conferencing can mean several different things, okay? And it's important for you to read this conference's overview. And in here, when you do this, you'll see that there's 3 options for completing a conference. The first one, which I've highlighted in yellow here, is the good old-fashioned face-to-face conference. You come to my office with your essay, and we talk about it, and you get feedback. The second one, blue one, the virtual conference, is pretty much like that, but we'll do it through the virtual office that I have set up on Moodle. Okay, so you'd have to come through there. The final possibility is a Google Docs conference, and this wouldn't be happening, we wouldn't be online together, it would be asynchronous. Okay, so you would post your essay and a full report about it in which you analyze what you've done, and then I would go on and I would offer feedback, and then you would come back on, I would let you know once I had responded, you'd come back on, okay, and we'd go back and forth with the discussion that way. So it might take a little bit more time to get your feedback. The face-to-face conference and the virtual conference, we've got 20 minutes and it happens and it's right there. Okay, so it really helps based on people's personal preferences for interaction, as well as your time frame, your scheduling, which type of thing you want to do. And all of them hopefully will work well for you. And they have there's more details later down on the page about what each of those looks like. So before you sign up for your conference, please look at this and decide, well, which of the formats do you think is right for you? Okay, no matter what format that is, okay, no matter which you choose, you are going to first choose a time. Okay, and it seems sort of weird because, especially for the Google Docs one, if you choose to do a Google Doc, you're not going to have to be here for that 20 minutes. Okay, but I need to sort of spread people out and schedule over time so that I can manage to get the feedback to all of you in a timely fashion. So the first thing you're going to do, and you'll see there's a lot of conference times here because there's a lot of you. So you're going to need to come through here and pick a time that will work for you. So please look at your schedule, pick a time that works. And it's important that you do, if you miss an appointment, it will certainly affect your conferencing grade. And that's also described in the conferencing. If you were to not show up for or not post your Google Doc on time, there's a penalty for a first and a second, and after a third, you'll lose the opportunity to conference with me. Okay, it's hard. As you can see, I've got to schedule a lot of time for this, and it's really important that students meet that or give me warning in the case that something's happened. So please take a look at your schedule and make sure you sign up for a time that you can make it to, or post your work before. The other option then, after you've signed up for a time, you also need to go into step 2, which is the format. And this is simply going to ask you, are you going to do face-to-face? Are you going to do it through virtual conferencing? Or are you going to do a Google Docs conference? Okay, so it has Illuminate here. I'll go and fix that. It's actually Moodle, Blackboard, Collaborate. They change the names all the time, so I'll fix that here. So what happens then is if you choose, say, 10:20 next Friday, and you say you're going to be on virtual conference, then I'll make sure I have my virtual office open and that we can connect, or I'm going to be here in my office. If you're going to do a Google Docs conference, you need to share your essay with me by the time that you signed up for. You could do it 2 days earlier, okay, that's perfectly fine, but you need to do it before or at that time, okay, so that I can get the feedback to you and have it scheduled to do so. I think that's it for the week. There's a lot going on, and we're still sort of getting knowledgeable about how all these things work. So my video is still running to 20 minutes. I have a goal for being half that in a few weeks once we get over these initial things. But not to be daunted, today I am going to conclude with my first joke. And the joke, and these are all going to be cheesy English instructor jokes, just so you know. I promised a joke, but I didn't promise it would be a good joke. The first one is starts with the past, the present, and the future walk into a bar. It was tense. Thanks, and have a good week. I'll see you again next week.